So how's it going, everybody? This is Nick Mitchell on our Realtors of Montgomery County show. We've got an amazing agent that we're interviewing today, Carla Magee. She's an Arizona real estate investment specialist. She did $11 million in sales last year, with half her sales coming from marketing on Instagram. She's been on Fox News all over the place, and we're super excited to have her on today. How are you doing, Carla?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Cool. Awesome. So how'd you get started in real estate?
Well, in 2005, my husband and I lived in Washington State, and we lived in our first flip. So
Nice.
we lived in a house that hadn't been touched since the 60s, and we renovated every square inch of it, blood, sweat, and tears, and then rolled that into our next property. Unfortunately, the market crashed in Seattle after that, so we had to start all over again. That process was interesting and I learned a lot, but I didn't want people to go through some of the same challenges that I went through as a new investor. I want to be able to help educate people.
Awesome. Awesome. And so you started your real estate journey first from the investment side of things, not as an agent.
I did. So at the time I was working in corporate America. I was working in Boeing as a supply chain analyst, and we didn't have our kids yet. And so we were, doing it for ourselves as an investments. And then when the market crashed, we moved to Nevada and had my second daughter. And I knew that I couldn't work in corporate America again after leaving Microsoft in Reno, Nevada.
Gotcha. So you were one of those corporate world people, and then you saw kind of just the opportunities in real estate and wanted to make the move. Okay, that's awesome. And so what did that journey look like? And so you did your first flip, and then you were like, hey, there's something going on here that maybe I'm really good at or is really appealing to me. What made you want to hop into being a full-time realtor?
Well, like I said, I wasn't good at being confined to a cubicle anymore, right?
Okay.
I needed like the flexibility and autonomy that real estate allowed from an investment perspective, from owning our own investments, as well as, helping people obtain their own investments too. My time in the corporate world and, in college and everything else kind of gave me this platform and the ability to speak to people in a way that was non-patronizing. Real estate investing feels really big, and I like to help them start that piece by piece and what that looks like for them, because everybody's journey is a little different.
Right. And so that's awesome. And so what is so I know that you're pretty successful now. I mean, I looked at your Instagram page and I was like, whoa, this lady's got it going on. It's so what is your day, or what was your day and your week? What did it look like when you were first starting off your business? Like how did you even get started? Because there's a lot of agents out there that they get into the business and it's just like, you've got so much bad information out there, maybe even
100%.
the brokerage that they're even with, their sales managers not even giving them the right information. What did you do to really kickstart your business and to, become successful?
What I personally did is what worked for me. And, this may not work for everybody. A team might be a better option for them because it kind of gives them, lead foundation and, how to contact people, as well as, a lot of support, which is what I really think is important when you're first starting out. I had the benefit of having my own background. I have a finance degree. We've done our own real estate investing. So I just kind of hit it head on. And I joined a boutique brokerage.
Okay.
What that means is, there's only a couple people versus like your huge brokerages, right?
Right.
Like I belong to now, so that I could kind of see what they were doing successfully. And honestly, it was just getting myself in front of people, just whatever that looked like, whether that was networking, cold calling, Instagram, whatever that meant, getting in front of people and just kind of putting my platform in front of them of like helping new investors and making real estate investing attainable, and just talking to whoever would listen about it. And eventually people just kind of caught on and started calling me back. And it really started, the momentum started happening, but I'd say it took a couple years.
Okay. So it took you a couple years to really get the business up and rolling. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, were you making a set amount of calls every day? Was it, hey, I'm going to reach out to 25 people and I'm going to do this, Monday through Saturday, maybe take Sunday off? Did you have it organized like that? Or was it just like, I'm going to hit the pavement and just make as many calls as I possibly can, and hopefully this works out?
Kind of both. I gave myself 2 years that corporate America was always sitting there waiting for me. A cubicle was always sitting there waiting for me if this all failed and I fell on my face. But I just knew that I had a message to spread. And so I would make, and it kind of depended on my kids' schedule now too, right? So because I had left my job, now I was responsible for their care. They couldn't be in, daycare or childcare anymore. And so I would work around their school schedule, and I would get as many calls in as I could in that time frame, starting from about 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I would just call. It wasn't like, I didn't call from like a VA perspective. Like a lot of people get like these robocalls and nobody wants to talk to them.
Right.
I came from like, how can I add value to your day? Right. How can we talk about your property? What kind of rents are you collecting? Things like that. And building a connection with people versus like, hey, I want to sell your stuff all the time. And I think once I knew that I was trying to add value to people's day and trying to respect their time, then they in turn respected my time. And it became like an actual professional relationship versus, just like a salesperson type relationship.
No, I love that 100%. And so you were reaching out to people that you already knew, you had some kind of, you've known them from school or maybe, other professional relationships, or were they completely cold people? Like they were cold?
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's a little bit tougher. So were you calling any for sale by owners, expireds, withdrawn listings? You were?
All of the above. So I called for sale by owners. Like I said, I didn't come to them from a perspective of, I want to sell your house. It was, talk to me about what your pain points are with selling on your own right now. Are you getting a lot of phone calls? Can I help in any way? And, half the time they still sold it on their own. Can I come look at your property? I'd be happy to give you some feedback on it. Cause I had no time. I had no clients yet. And so they would let me come look, we would chat and we would get to know each other. And I'd say half the time when they were just getting all these like horrible sales calls, they called that nice lady that didn't try to sell them anything and, let me sell it instead.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so now we're a little bit further down the line. What does your day look like now? I mean, you're doing quite a bit of sales. Is it still the same as when you were first getting started? Are you still making those calls, or have you kind of built it up now to where you can, just manage those relationships and build a team under you so you can continue to grow and scale?
Yes. So it's the same, but different, right? I don't have time now to make the cold calls or anything like that, but I train my team of buyer agents or agents that want to kind of learn how to do it like Carla's doing it. How to add value, how to not sound like a salesperson, how to follow up with people. I guess I didn't realize that was a critical skill that I just had. And so in training people, I've learned that people need to be taught how to follow up. They feel like, I'm annoying them, but if you make an appointment with them, or if you make a set time, like, hey, I'm going to call you next Monday, you're not annoying them. You told them you were going to call them back. So make sure you do. If you keep saying that I'm going to do this and then you do it, people realize that, that you value their time and that you're reliable. And really that's what they're looking for. And, out of all the realtors in all the world, why do I keep getting called back? And it's for those reasons.
Gotcha. No, I love it 100%. And so your slogan is Arizona Real Estate Investment Specialist. And so is that what you just basically specialize in now is just investments. So you're running, cap rates analysis on, investment properties. Are you just doing single family? Are you doing some commercial as well?
So I work with commercial brokerage. That's where I hang my license.
Okay.
But investment real estate, the reason that came about is because it kind of looks different for everybody, right? As I listened to people and as I talked to people and they wanted to get into real estate investing, some of those are short-term rentals, right? So that's a single family house.
Right.
Some of them are just small duplexes and some of them are 50 units. And so I found that if I narrowed myself down to just one specialty, it kind of alienated others, when really I just want to help you find the best investment for you. Sometimes that's my investor's daughter and she wants her first condo and he only trusts me to help her find that. And, that's an investment too.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. And so, let's see here. So do you have any tips for new agents getting into the business to, help them launch their career and to be successful in the industry?
I do. So I would say my first tip is, always lean on people smarter than you, right? Like I try not to be the smartest person in the room all the time. I try and surround myself with people who know more about sales or know more about investments and just constantly learn from them. Also follow up, right? I used to say the fortune's in the follow up. So you need to, when you tell someone you're going to call them back or text them back, make sure you're doing it. Time block. I set reminders in my phone. I block off time in my phone when I'm working, when I'm doing things. Everything's very scheduled and regimented. And that's so that I can have quality time with my family, as well as, give my clients everything they need. Those expectations are set up front. So we value each other's time.
Okay. Awesome. And the one thing that I saw that you were doing that really got me excited is that you get a lot of your business from Instagram, from people that you don't know. And could you explain just a little bit more how you leverage Instagram as a platform to bring in new business? Are you spending money on, paid advertising through Instagram? Is it all organic? What does that kind of look like? And can you just kind of tell us a little bit more about how Instagram's helping you with bringing in new business?
Sure. So that in itself was a journey, right? So I am a Gen Xer. I am not Instagram savvy. I'm more of a Facebook kind of gal. And so I had to learn how to not only use Instagram, but use Instagram intentionally for my business. And I found a coach. Her name is Michelle Berman, and she's with the Instagram Power Method. And she focuses on realtors, loan officers, title companies, everything real estate related, and how to get your message across, in a way that you want to, how to add value to people's day. When they're scrolling, why are they stopping on your Instagram, right? It's not just because of the cute picture of your cat. It's, that there's value you presenting to them. And so I used her course and followed her methods in order to get myself out there in front of people and get my message across via hashtags, engagement, stuff like that. I have never paid for an Instagram ad. Everything has always been organic through this method.
Okay, gotcha. And so you have an Instagram coach that basically is giving you, a playbook of what exactly you need to do on Instagram to be successful. When I was looking at your Instagram page, I could see, I think you post almost every day, it looked like, and then on your stories, your stories were blown up. Like you had maybe 10 of them, or maybe, 3, posts on your story. And then you said using hashtags, and with the hashtags, because people all over, Instagram post different hashtags, and then they'll go follow different hashtags. And so you would put in, like, let's say specific keywords, like, Arizona deal 10% cap rate, in that hashtag. And you would get, people searching those hashtags, and y'all would link up somehow on Instagram, and you just kind of come in and, figure out, hey, how can I add value to this person? How can I, build some sort of relationship with them? Is that kind of the angle you were taking with it?
Kind of. So the hashtags are how people find you, right?
Okay.
So if I'm looking for multifamily properties in Phoenix, guess what my hashtag says? It says multifamily properties in Phoenix.
Gotcha.
Investment realtor Arizona, stuff
Mhm.
like that. So that's how people find me. And then once they find me and they check out my page, they see the value that I'm adding. I have what I call a value series. And that's, you can kind of tell it's me educating you on what I think you're looking for when you come to my page.
Okay.
And so in addition to getting to know me as a person, right?
Right.
So most people won't chat with you based on, hey, I really like that formula you used for cap rate. But most people will chat with me when they're like, do you have dogs? Because all you post is your cats, stuff like that. And I'm like, actually, I do have dogs. They just drive
Awesome.
me crazy, so then we get to know each other through stories, through, polls, things like that. And the relationships I've built on Instagram are with investors and residential agents that come across listings for, say, large multifamily properties or commercial properties, and they don't know how to sell it, or they don't fully understand how to sell it. And in order to give their client the best service, they refer them to me. But why did they know that? Because they got to know me through Instagram, right?
Wow.
We built a relationship. We chatted. We've gotten to know each other. You work with who you like, know, trust.
Right.
And so I've used that as a platform for people to get to know me and know that, I'm ethical. I do what I say I'm going to do. I'm smart. I'm busy. So I'm not just somebody posting cute selfies on Instagram all day. Like, there's actual intention behind it.
Right. Wow. That's awesome. $5 million or $5 million in sales from Instagram. That's pretty incredible. And so,
that was just this year.
Wow. That wasn't last year. That was just this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year was like 2.5
from Instagram, and then 5 million. And so you've already done 11 million in sales this year. Wow. That's incredible. What did you do last year?
It was, I think, around 6.
Okay. That's still really good too. And how many years in the business?
I got licensed in 2014.
Okay. 7 years. That's awesome. That's amazing. So I also saw that you were on Fox News, or a couple different news stations. That's a pretty big deal. How'd you get those opportunities?
Actually, it's not what you know, sometimes it's who you know, right? So on Fox, our local Fox news station, Fox 10, I know one of the producers in the morning, and our kids go to school together. And she was like, hey, I have some questions about the real estate market, but I don't know who to ask. Would you mind coming on? And that year, my New Year's resolution was to say yes to things. And like, my immediate reaction was like, no, I don't want to do that. That sounds scary. But I was like, yes, I'll do it. And since there was a pandemic, it was like this on Zoom, and it's live. So if we have any audio issues or anything, we are just going to roll with it. So it was super interesting that, they wouldn't ask me to come back if I wasn't doing a good job, right? So now I come back probably like every 6 weeks as the Arizona real estate expert.
Wow.
And then ABC Family 15 saw me doing a clip, or whatever the news people call it. And she was like, I wanted to do a story just like that. Can I interview you too? And I was like, yes, because that's my motto this year. And so now I just kind of bounce around some of the local news stations and, talk to them about the real estate market. Yeah. So
make some friends that are in the news business, and you'll get some help with some marketing. That's amazing. Well, Carla, I think that's all we got for today. We love having you on the show, and hopefully we'll get you on here soon, and keep crushing it in real estate. So,
well, thank you. I appreciate it. And if anyone has real estate needs in Arizona, I'm your gal. I can do commercial throughout the entire country, but any residential stuff has to be in Arizona.
Awesome. And how can people reach you?
They can find me on Instagram at Investment Real Estate AZ.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Carla.
Thank you.